Hey, I'm Marcus and I'm playing Crusader Kings 3. And welcome to a new campaign that I'm going to play, and some of you have already guessed that correctly, in the beautiful city of Antioch. And I've chosen the start date of 1100. There's a mod called Bookmarks or Bookmarks Plus that lets you play, I think with an increment of 5 years, you can play about just every year. Between like 500 and 1500. So I've chosen this one here because I want to do something that I've started last year around the same time, I think. Yeah, maybe a bit earlier. And I never finished it. And that was playing Bohemond. Bohemond of Taranto, Bohemond d'Hauteville, Bohemond of Antioch. And when I did, I was kind of burned out from the first campaign that I did. I had this very weird schedule where I would upload daily at the time because I had the time to do it and I really wanted to. But then, it didn't happen, and I stopped for half a year before running another campaign again. And I always had this in the back of my head. I need to finish this. It can't just be this playlist with like 2 videos and so on. I need to do something about it. So here we go. And instead of going back to where I left at that moment, obviously the save game file doesn't work anymore. That was a way different version then. I wanted to start where Bohemond is already where he wanted to be, and that is conquering a part of the Middle East where he and his fellow Crusaders were marching. And by that time here, 1100, he would still be rather fresh in the seat. The conquering of Antioch took place in 1098. 1099, of course, then Jerusalem is captured. There was a bit of back and forth, and then he's now back. So it's 1100, right? There was a start. There was no start date. That was like 1099. So I took 1100. Anyway, so before I get into this, a few things I need to clarify. There might be some that are new to this, and to them, hello, hi. What I'm doing here is role playing. I try to portray the character according to his traits, and kind of like to put things in a medieval perspective. That is always a very subjective thing, right? So if I don't fulfill the criteria that you think are genuine medieval, then that might just be it. Obviously, you can always leave some comments and suggest things I can do. But rather, yeah, I do have a certain approach to this. I've already done this in a few campaigns, and some people like it, so there we go. When it comes to the setting that we're in, like I said, I've chosen 1100. We are in Antioch right now, but maybe let's get a bit back and let's do some backtracking here. Begin with the Crusade itself. That obviously started in 1096, and by that time the Pope had called for the Crusade. Famous Deus Vult speech that was held somewhere in southern France, I think. The main hosts that participated were from France, indeed, but also from that region here, Flanders and Lower Lorraine, the Lower Rhine area. And then there's like a third large host that comes from that direction here, southern Italy, and that's, of course, the d'Hautevilles, and that is mainly Bohemond, but also his nephew Tancred, to whom he has a special connection. As you do see, he has lots and lots of siblings, but he only has one proper sibling, like same father, same mother, and that is his sister Emma. He and Emma are the children of Robert d'Hauteville, famously Guiscard, and his wife Alberada. So that was Emma here, and then Bohemond there. And Emma later on married and has some children with from that marriage, and one of them here is Tancred. So with him, they are going to join the Crusade. They're gathering a host. It's not the biggest host, like ones from France and the Rhine area, much bigger. But they are the most experienced. I think we covered that, or if you want to go back, you can watch the first video on Bohemond that I did back in the day, where I talk about the Normans coming into southern Italy and how they took hold, how they captured and conquered these lands, and a bit of back and forth, always doing what was kind of the smartest move to make, with not that many men, but rather highly experienced and highly trained men. So the host that they're gathering here is, of course, like some footmen, but it's especially their cavalry that is feared already in that area here, because the Normans have been fighting against the Byzantines for the Byzantines on and off for about 50 or 60 years at this point. And that is why they are the ones, so Bohemond and his nephew Tancred, that are sought after in this conflict here, and that is why Bohemond will largely take a leading role. Even, again, he is not commanding the biggest host. Now, what happens here is that we have these different hosts gathering in the city of Constantinople, somewhere around 1097. And it is there that they are forming this battle plan of kind of like, what do they want to do? What do they want to achieve? Obviously, they want to conquer Jerusalem, but how are they going to do that? And then there's also the... there we go. The Grand Patriarch. By the way, why is he clan? Okay, that's weird. I'm going to change that in a moment. So there's the Grand Patriarch? No, there's the Emperor Alexios. There you go. Right. That's what he's supposed to be. There you go. Gee, what? Anyway, okay, let him have his money. He will need it. He will definitely need his money. So there's the Basileus Alexios of the Byzantine Empire here, or Eastern Rome, or even the Roman Empire. That's what they called themselves. And he does have some trouble. He's in a lot of trouble because of the Turks that are coming from the east. As you do see here, we have the Seljuk empires, and the Seljuk are Oghuz Turks. So they're coming from that area here, and they've been invading Persia and subsequently also Anatolia, or as modern-day Turkey. So that's actually right, Turkey, because of the Turkish roots here, beginning to settle at around that time. As you do see, that's not Seljuks here anymore, or rather they are, but it's the... as they were this steppe people, they did not have this elaborate system of like who's going to inherit what, and that's where they had like different leaders of larger hosts, and they would conquer. And one of them here is Sultan Kili of the Sultanate of Rum. Now, rum is it's not the drink, of course, but it is Rome. It is the equivalent, or what the Seljuks would be calling Rome, because that was their name for this region here, for Anatolia. Again, deriving from the Roman Empire. So they've been conquering in this part here, and now the Basileus needs, or rather is quite likes the notion of having someone else doing his job, and that is throwing them out. He actually lets the Crusaders swear to him allegiance, right? That they will conquer back these parts here that belong to the Roman Empire, and in turn, they will get his support. They will have the ability to travel freely with their troops inside of the empire, and so on. They don't do that, obviously. Yeah, for good reason, maybe. Although there is some dispute later on. What the Crusaders do is they kind of march through that area here, down here. And while they do conquer bits and pieces here and there. The Sultanate of Rum had been much bigger before that, but rather spanning that entire area here. And famously the city of Nicaea, or Nicaea. And they conquer it back. The Crusaders conquer Nicaea back for the Byzantine Empire, and they march on. And finally, they get to Antioch. I'm passing over some things here. Obviously, they go through the gates of Cilicia, and that's a little monument here as well in the game, which is quite nice. There you go. We even see that here on the picture. There you go. There are the Cilician gates. Which, interestingly, by the time that we are playing here, Cilicia is actually ruled by Armenians. And the Armenians, just like the Byzantines as well, like they had been under pressure by the Seljuks and Kurdish tribes as well, that had taken over their lands up here. So a lot of them migrated, ended up there. They were meant to be vassals of the Byzantines, but they were rather independent. So in the game files, they were still vassals, but I thought it would be more in tune with what happened here historically to have them independent. And now we have him, Constantine of the Rupenid dynasty. That is actually historical. I'll get back to that maybe in a moment. So they end up conquering Antioch, and that is quite the interesting event. Because as we do see, and I've showed that on the screenshot before, my posts, right? That is the beautiful model here. That's from Medieval Arts, the best mod out there for CK3 by far, I think. Well, I guess you could count an EPE and so on. I take them for granted, almost, by now. But rather, the Medieval Arts adds so many beautiful models for different towns, cities, castles, and buildings, special buildings, and so on. And here we have Antioch, and the way it is, there you go, it is the wrong way around, I think. Obviously, they had to work with what they were given here, but rather it should be on the other side of the river, over here. But that's not how the game works, right? So it has this large wall around it. The wall is even much bigger than the city itself. Goes into the mountains. There we go. That's like almost what it would look like in reality. And this wall is almost impenetrable. We do see that in game, called the Iron Gate here, guarding the mountain pass that links the Orontes plain to the mountain range high above. The Iron Gate forms one of the most critical entrances into Antioch. Here the walls narrow into a fortified defile of stone towers, gates, and retaining walls anchored directly into the rock. The citadel also works as a sort of dam, controlling the torrent of the Parmenios to protect the city. I did not know the last part. But anyway, so this large wall and its gates and so on make it near impenetrable, right? We do get a fortification modifier of +5. So we're very safe inside of Antioch for now. So what does happen? They are besieging the city for quite some time, and then Bohemond, who is by all means a very very intelligent guy who's able to manipulate others and so on. He makes a deal with an important figure inside of the city. I forget the name now. Firuz, I think was the name. A Armenian convert to Islam who is in Antioch. And he bribes him. And with this guy's help, they manage to get inside of the city with the gates already opened for them. And then they conquer the rest here. There was a excursion from Radwan here, a Seljuk ruler of Aleppo, but he came too late. Right, so by the time he arrived with his men, they were already inside. And then I think they managed to defeat them. Again, that was Bohemond leading the charge. So in the end, he was like the most prominent figure in this whole thing. He managed to fend off the attackers. He managed to get into the city in the first place. So it was like, okay, I did all the work. This is mine. Obviously, the others don't see it like that. There is, of course, famously Godefroy of Boulogne here. Was it Godefroy? Like with one of them, he had a very big dispute. Might have been him. Surely, because he later is now the king of Jerusalem. Anyways, so he was like, now we have to give this back to the emperor, to the Basileus, because that's what we vowed, didn't we? And Bohemond is like, yeah, okay, well... You do swear a lot of oaths, right? Especially to the Basileus. They don't say what they mean most of the time anyway. And of course, they did not support. The Basileus did not what he said he would do. He did not support the Crusaders, and therefore Bohemond was like, no, this is by right ours to take, and he did. Stayed back, and I think he was not part of the bloody siege, the bloody storming of Jerusalem by the remaining Crusaders in 1099. Later came to Jerusalem, where like for the parades, for the ceremonies and everything. But did not take part in the gruesome acts over there, and then returned. So there we are. Right, in this story, did I forget anything? That was quite important. The Seljuks, the fight was mainly against them, but also against the Fatimids in Egypt. So that was the conflict over here. We do have at this point, because some of you might think, hey, why is this here still part of the Fatimids? Well, the thing is... And, wait a second, I have to let the cat out. That's always a thing. There we go. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Tripoli. The county of Tripoli is only established in 1107, I think. Or conquered in 1102, somewhere around there. So at this point in time, that is still part of Egypt. So that's fine. That's actually correct. We do have another Crusader state in Edessa here. That's another Boulogne ruler, Baldwin. And Baldwin, already changed that, is the Count of Edessa, right? It's a duchy ranked tier, in CK3, but he was called a Count. And that's where we are currently, in this hodgepodge of different, smaller entities that are all fighting. And all kinds of religions and cultures are here. So it's quite an interesting setup. And that's also why I wanted to play here and see if we can manage the complexity. So apart from us here, there's obviously the Armenian rulers over there. They are apostolic. That is a Christian religion. We are obviously Catholic, but then if we switch to faiths, this is largely Orthodox here. So there we go. Then we have the Sultanate of Rum, We do have the Danish Mendids to the northeast, and they are Turks as well. Right. Anything else that we need to know? Yeah, if you have a little look into what Europe is up to at this point, with France, with good King Philippe, he is still there. By the time when you do the 1066 start date, obviously he's very young and you don't know what he will become. But at this point in time, he is quite notorious, as you do see. He's excommunicated. And why? It's a bit embarrassing, I think. He is excommunicated because he chose to marry another woman because he didn't like the first one. He said she was fat. And that's not me making this up. That was like what he got excommunicated over. Good old Philippe. I think with his traits that they're given him here, lustful, greedy, and stubborn, I think that's a perfect fit. He claims now to be married to Bertrade here. Right, who also is excommunicated, and they have children together, and they're all illegitimate, and so on. Right, that's him over here. Interestingly, Bohemond in our real world, somewhere around 1106, I think, marries Princess Constance of France. That is when he does a Europe tour. Like a best-of tour, where he goes from town to town, and everyone kind of admires him greatly, and then he marries Princess Constance. That's not going to happen here, I'm afraid. I tried, but as we do see, that's not going to happen. That's a minus 131 here. That we're not going to get there, even with like proposing a grand wedding. The thing is that, as you do see here, minus 100 through patrilineal marriage. And the problem is, since all of the other children here of Philippe are all illegitimate, Constance is still part of the whole inheritage thing. And I think that is why the game throws this modifier in here. So, yeah, no dice for our Bohemond. You will have to seek out another princess, but don't you worry, I already found one. Anyways, you have England with William II with Rufus in place. Obviously, in our time, he was not a king for long. Let's see how far he will take it. Then we have the Holy Roman Empire, where Heinrich is still Kaiser. Not excommunicated at this point in time. He already did that. He did his penance and so on. I'm not sure. Will he be excommunicated again? He was on and off excommunicated all the time, so I'm not sure. Also not sure if that is historical. He's currently married to a, Rus woman, Yevpraxia. Not sure if that's historical, actually. She was married before, and his spouse died in 1087. I guess it would be. That's his children anyways. He's still here, so good for him. Now, since he played in Croatia before, and what I mentioned in the Croatian campaign in the very first episode is that Croatia in our time famously had this kind of unification with Hungary at that point, where they would also slowly adapt feudal rules and so on in a, ruled by the Arpads, but largely independent here, right? But that's how we see both Hungary and Croatia, and you do see here that Kalman has both titles. Right. The Byzantine Empire again, like, why does he have so much money now? That should not be correct. That is definitely too much. But, yeah, okay, we'll see what you do with that. The Byzantine Empire looks big, but is largely weakened. For the longest time, they have relied heavily on outside forces, and you do see in the case with the Crusaders where that led to. Yeah, right. Maybe that's something to mention here. The daughter of Alexios, Komnenos, famously is Anna Komnena, who would later on write this beautiful account of her times, where she also mentions Bohemond quite a lot. I guess she had a little crush on him. It's like, I'm not sure if that's her mentioning. I think she mentions his traits, and that's where I got that from, right? That he was supposed to be very tall. He has like this blonde reddish hair, deep blue eyes, like a real man's man, like powerful and so on, like with the butt chin and everything. So that's I did some kind of remodeling a bit. It shows different hair as well and so on. There's also a biography of Bohemond from somewhere after he died, which is, of course, they're all very flattering, right? It doesn't mean that he really looked like that, but let's stay with that, right? At least it's a historic account, so let's go with it. Right, okay. So, what are we doing? Bohemond. Let's maybe take a look at his character first. I did change some bits because the vanilla Bohemond has the deceitful trait, I think, and something else I forget now. I rearranged this a little, and now well, he does have the brave trait originally as well. Ambitious, because I think definitely Bohemond was very ambitious. He came from a position where his own father kind of somewhat declared him a bastard when he was a child, because Guiscard was like, nah, I did not really marry that wife. Oh, I forget it now. What was the circumstances? In any case, he had the marriage annulled. That was the main thing, because he found a better match. And then with his second wife, had way more children. That's why he has so many siblings here. But he was considered a bastard at that point in time, and he had to fight for his own heritage, and he did that when Guiscard died. Bohemond was able to carve out some lands for his own, and that was Taranto and what is here? Bari and Lecce, right? That is the southern part of the heel, right? The heel of the Italian boot. That is the Principality of Taranto, as I always call myself, Prince Bohemond. I did that by creating what you have to do is a bit just like modify some vanilla files, and then you end up having your own duchy here. But I looked it up, and that should be almost like the historical area, right? Taranto is not what the jury county thing is, so he's in Bari here. He'll just take it as it is, okay? But yeah, he has lands over here. That is where he comes from. And then now he has lands over here. So Antioch and Alexandretta. He's actually able to hold both of them, funnily enough. I still have the game rule in place. With the settings that we had before, where domain limit was rather depending on stewardship. I had a -3 rule, because I always think that in order to really portray feudal systems, you should have that very low, because you need to depend on other people to rule for you. So, but I put it on -2, because now we have this all depending on your education level. And as you do see, here's a duke that gets a +2, and he is a brilliant strategist. And there's something also changed in the vanilla files. He is a tough soldier. And I don't see that. Whenever you see Bohemond acting, he is very good. He's very successful in battle, in all the strategies that he puts in place. Not only from this kind of warfare perspective, where it's like, yeah, okay, fight here, fight there, but as you do see, he's also able to inspire troops. He's able to manipulate others. So I thought that would be fitting, making him a brilliant strategist. And then that is the level I thought, like, yeah, instead of deceitful, I thought he would be callous. I think that is way better fitting for him than being deceitful. Again, there are instances, of course, where he acts deceitfully, but that's tactical. I don't think that he did that out of real malice or because he liked to go against other people, but that was just because his ruthlessness. When he wanted something, he would do whatever it took to get it. And I think that's why Callus is the better fitting trait here. He is not very well, I guess, yeah, it's difficult to say he's not emotional, right? He might be emotional when it comes to being angry about things or so, but he is not emotionally attached to a lot of things. And he will not be a great romantic lover and these kind of things, so there we are. And then there's the immersive personalities mod that adds the trait Imperious. There we go. Bohemond possesses an unshakable sense of his own authority, is bearing command submission, and he will not suffer any challenge to what he believes is his natural right to rule. I think that's very befitting of the historical Bohemond. And I did not choose this one, actually. That's the mod choosing it based on his other traits. So I think it's very fitting. Now, he does have other traits as well. I had to add a Crusader manually right now. That's why we see that down here. But yeah, he was a Crusader. I think that's without question. Robust. He does have... Bohemond has a strong physique that we will need. Because now with 119, with patch 119, they added all kinds of kind of like bad things that you get when you are older or over 50. And we do need some time to produce an heir, I guess. Yeah, right. So that comes in handy. The medium boost to health from this one here. Right. Then he is an overseer already. So if we go to his lifestyle, we see that the game for him chose the overseer path. Yeah, which is okay, I guess. I would not have chosen it. He himself, Bohemond himself, especially after he conquered Antioch, liked to portray himself as this great knight. Like this epitome of a Christian warrior. So I like to portray that image. I think that's why I will choose the chivalry focus for him, even if I maybe choose strategist or anything else. But I think that was what he wanted to portray to the outside, and therefore also pursued, for himself. There we go. But that means we do get another domain limit bonus here from absolute control, which is quite nice. So actually we are able to hold the 4 holdings that we have without any, well, we don't need to find other people that can hold it for us, so that's quite nice. I like it. And what else do we do? Obviously, like I said, he's already 45, so there's a certain need to procreate. I would say, to beat the time. And when it comes to that, like I said before, he wanted to marry, or that was one of his things, right? Like he wanted to marry, I guess, above his station. Part of his ambition again, part of the whole, like, he wanted to be seen in the coming centuries as this kind of kingly figure, I think. And that's why I think we would want to marry a princess as well. That's not really possible currently. But if we do click the grand wedding option, there is one. And you can already see that. And that is Princess Ingegerd. That's a princess of Denmark. It's not France, but it's okay. And she is, interestingly, at the court of our younger half-brother, Roger of Apulia. So, the quote-unquote legitimate son of Robert Guiscard. And why is she at his court? Because her mother, Adele here, of the House Vlaanderen, right, so there we go, very European here, because Vlaanderen, of course, Flanders, Also had this ties to the Normans in Normandy and so on. But she was married to King Knud of Denmark, and upon his death married Roger. There we go. So they have children. The two of them. No, probably not him, because he is a bastard. But these three here then, right? They were children. They were her children from Canute, and they have all. Are they all? Yeah, they're all here at the court in Apulia, and that is why we could technically marry her. And I think, yeah, this is obviously when it comes to her traits, that's. Let's not talk about that. I mean, she's also callous. They can be very cold and to each other, and they might like that. I'm not sure. But if you look at her, right, she is tall for a woman at like 173, 4-ish. That's in meters, right? But what's that in feet? 5, 6, 7, 5. 7, yeah, 5'7", somewhere around there, right? So that is for this point in time, anyway, that is rather tall. And he's a tall man. He wants to have big, strong boys. And this connection is quite interesting, right? Because there wouldn't be some kind of reservation when it comes to that. Like obviously, she is now married to his brother. So any of their children together, he would not be eligible for marrying those, of course. But that is his daughter. That is her daughter from her former marriage. I think that's totally fine. So we can. Oh yeah, by the way, I should turn off the cheat module here. I had this on because I had to do some kind of switching stuff. But there we go. Marriage, and then yeah. I guess I could try some other things here, but I think a grand wedding would be good for Bohemond. Again, he likes the spectacle, I think. He would like to show the world that he's marrying a princess. I think that's very fitting for him. So there we go. We will ask him for this marriage. And I guess that's can't do anything else with him currently because we are already, yeah, he's already considering a proposal. We could also ask for an alliance with him. That's something else we will do. Okay, what else can we do? We can hold a court, of course. We can have a look at our court. There we go. That would be our court now in Antioch. I think, by the way, we do have, yeah, for whatever reason, we have the Oldville house banner, even though we're not the house head. And I think at some point we would like to deviate and create our own, our own house within the dynasty. We need to look at court grandeur because that's this kind of threshold of 3 that you should always have, right? That's the that you expected to have as a duke. I do have a mod installed that allows you to have a throne room and everything as a duke. So that's that. I will achieve this by obviously like cranking up or bringing these to the normal level, right? Logics and so on, but that won't be enough. So what I will do is go for decent fashion. I think that's the most Bohemond option. Some legitimacy gain, some court grandeur bonus. There we go. It's a warlike court. That makes sense. We speak French. That makes sense as well. There we go. And that will be good. Now, oh yeah, what I did was, and that was kind of what I did before I started, and I had to cheat a bit money in order to realize that. But I think it's yeah, he did not have he did not have any riders in here, and that's just historically incorrect. That was what he relied greatly on, and that is why I added some conrois. So it will take some time for them to get to 100, but that will be it then. What else can I do? I can collaborate with Mediterranean pirates. I think that is something to consider, really. Huh. It costs a bit. What I would do then is, because this allows for a special building, and I do have to do a bit of trickery here, I would have to switch court to Alexandretta, because that does not have a special building. Then they could have the pirate holdout thing. I can switch back to Antioch. I think I'll do that at some point, but not now. I can reinforce relations with Silk Road communities. That sounds more interesting. The Silk Road is home to many different ethnic communities. It would be wise to reach out to the leaders and elites of such communities in my territories, that we mutually assist each other. That makes a lot of sense. And there's a situation for this, right? There's the Silk Road. There's the network of markets, way stations, and so on. I think there's the different ones here: China, Tibet, India, Central Asia, Transcaspia, and Occident. Dvin is over here. That is the former Armenian capital that is now being held by the Kurds. So that would be the closest here. So you do see it comes from over there, from China, and ends in the end in Constantinople. Okay. So yeah, I think that's something we should do. We might profit from that. So with what community are we working with? And I guess Middle Eastern here makes most sense, right? Because that's where we are. So there we go. It is time to improve your contacts with Middle East community. Then we get this one here. This character has connections with Arabic, Iranian, and Jewish people of foreign origin living in their part of the so-called Silk Road. And they have a good relationship with the elite members of these communities. All right. I guess that's something we could do. There we go. The lands and seas of the so-called Silk Road have been a vibrant melting pot of different peoples for generations, perhaps even before the rise of the great empires of Han, Rome, or Persia. Thanks to these extensive networks, there are flourishing communities with origins from across Eurasia, even in my realm. Cooperating with them may be helpful if I am to achieve my ambitions, and we do have them. In particular, I've decided to reinforce relations with the Middle Eastern communities in my realm. The merchant networks of Iranian, Arabian, and Jewish origin can be found across the Silk Road, wherever trade may flow. Anyone who seeks to encourage commerce and development will look for their aid. Right? There we go. That one here, that gives us a plus 0.1 in tax revenue, I guess. And apart from that, is there anything I want to do, actually? Oh, bring in Middle Eastern merchant settlers. Oh, that's interesting. Now that I have been networking, I'm interested in whether they'd be willing to help me attract some of their compatriots, particularly merchants, to settle in my realm and continue to expand the existing commercial networks that we may all prosper and grow. Okay. Oh. Okay, we do get some holding tax plus. And I think for 25 gold, that might actually be worth it. I do get some prestige. That's fine, I guess. And we do get some lowered construction cost. Some more development growth. And I guess that is something he would do. Like I said, he was kind of thrifty when it came to these things, I think. And he would have known, as a Norman, already ruling in southern Italy, where the population, obviously, where the whole culture is not Norman, he would know how to work with people that are not really Norman. I already gave him Greek as another language, because that is accounted for. He did speak Greek fluently, apparently, because he was the one who communicated with Basileus Alexios on behalf of all the other Crusaders. So he must have spoken Greek. Don't know why I pronounce it like that now. What else can we do, by the way? Can station a man-at-arms regiment. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I guess we will have them close. Oh, in Alexandretta I would even get better stats for them. Why is that? Because the bastions and curtain walls, I guess. Because here I only have the mud brick towers. Mud brick towers. There you go. Put the the sergeants in there, the sergeants. Anything else we can do? We can declare wars. I'll get to that in a moment. Oh yeah, let's have a look at the court and everyone else in here. We do have our council. Not so pleased, of course, with what the game is presenting me. As we all know, CK3 has this habit of putting. Look at him smiling. I'm useless. CK3 has this annoying habit of putting people in towns that are of no use at all. But he does have a 9 in stewardship. That's at least average. And I did see that Mayor Basile here does have quite the decent marshal. So maybe I can switch. I can swap. There you go. That looks better, at least from that point of view here. And he can train commanders. Yeah, do your thing with your sword. We have Baron Franck di Taranto, or de Taranto, who's ruling in Taranto for us. And I guess that's fine. He can stay in that position here. We have Mayor Beaufort, and I guess he's the weakest link with his 8 in diplomacy. But I guess, okay. Don't think he can too much wrong. Yeah. You do have a bishop with a learning of 6. That's very unfortunate. So, not a big fan of that one. Maybe at some point we can get a better one. But what we would do is actually promoting Catholicism. Right, that is definitely what we want to do. What could Mayor Eric do? He could actually try to raise development. I guess that's all fine for now. Then we do have 15 courtiers, but that's largely guests, or what I saw here. We have guest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of the people at our court are actually guests. There's not many people aside from that then. We do have Aude d'Anjou. That is one of our knights. Quite decent. Robert de Nantes, another knight, who's also a brilliant strategist. Good. Fulk Roger. Okay. He's there too. Ida de Villeneuve. Okay. And Evantia Arguropoulos. Okay. Giselle de Harenk. Mostly Normans here. That's good. Obviously that is befitting. Oh yeah, and there's Arnulf. He's just Arnulf. He's a low-born guy in our retinue. So there we go. We do have some people with us. Not sure should I have them marry here because there's some. I guess I could do that. That wouldn't be that terrible, I guess. She can pass on her lisp to someone else. That's always funny. Let's pick Robert here because they're both stubborn. Probably makes them a happy couple. What else could we choose? We could say that... What's her disposition? She's reliant, craven, just and content. He's at least humble, but I guess he's brave and she's craven. That's why not going to work. He's also reliant here. Fulk Roger. There you go. We're a happy couple now. And lastly, we have Evantia here. Is that a befitting option for Aude? He will just take what's left. So there we go. We have the little mass wedding here in Antioch after we conquered the town. I can set languages that we speak at our court. Latin is in here as well, because I guess our bishop does know Latin. But I'm not sure if that's a... I guess it would be nice. I guess we can try if he's able to pass that on to someone else. Yeah, then there's the question of, do we pick, or do we choose one of the other guests here? That guy here, Amaury, he is also good in learning. is something to consider. Oh, by the way, I can also take a look and see if someone wants to join my court. Oh, and they do. Look at that. All those people here, they want to visit and live at my court. I guess we can choose one of them. There is my first cousin, Reinulf. But he's at Tancred's court. I don't want to poach people from Tancred. There's Rocker de Hauteville, also my first cousin. I don't think I want her at my court. Elderly woman. No, thank you. Ermengarde de Bourbon. Okay. She probably would join because she's lustful and she's like, oh yeah, I want to get me some of that Bohemond. Dreux de Mayo. Okay. Randolph. Yeah, why not? Randolph is off Franc. I think he's even better. I'll keep it one of our knights because we need some knights. There we go. I am able to have some knights. Giselle, 29, a nun who is, well, I'm hoping she's a wise woman, and also has a learning of 17. So I guess she would be quite good as a healer. So I'm taking her as well. Dalimir, Polish, interesting. Ah, okay. With some mercenaries, but his prowess is not high enough for him to be interesting to me. I guess she would have been interesting as well. Yeah. I guess I'm fine. For now I'm fine. Maybe I do I get Franc as well? It's a bit of a paranoid, gluttonous, fearsome, I don't know. Look at his face. You don't want to have that guy at your court. You don't want to look at his face all the time. You're like, ugh. By the way, Prince Constantine here. He's a bit of a... he's a piece of work. Cynical, vengeful, paranoid, and resentful. Jesus Christ. Get a hold of yourself, man. Oh yeah, by the way, he is allied to the Count of Edessa through marriage because Baldwin here married Ardai, and she is the daughter of Thoros, who is the son of Constantine. So there we go. Both of them are allied. Right. I guess we can hold court, and that can be our first formal action. There we go. Sitting on my throne, I gesture for my guards to open the doors of the hall. A stream of people file in, some lining up in front of my throne, while others move out the way so they can simply observe the proceedings. After several moments, all movement in the chamber has ceased. All faces turn towards mine expectantly. In front of me, I count 3 petitioners lined up in an orderly row, waiting for me to call on them. Yeah, they always line up, do they? There we go. That is Lorenzo de Grandmesnil. Lorenzo de Grandmesnil. My lord, I represent the religious community of Jabala. Okay. While rummaging through our modest archive, we have come across a peculiar book. The cover is dusty, the binding fragile, and the pages yellowed by time. But it contains the most unusual drawings, and the script itself is unknown to us priests. We are certain it is unique in the world, a long-lost vault of knowledge, a true treasure. That's why we offer it to you. Perhaps it's the original copy of the will of God, or it's a memoir from the world's creation. Maybe it is, but who cares about books? And that's that. He goes out of the door and dies. A frightful peasant strolls all too close before a guard steps between us. Ooh! He backs off with a wink, laughing through scant teeth. Hey, my lord, I come from Taranto with a matter of great import. Oh, you went all the way. His eyebrows undulate. You see, my lord, a brewer has been carrying on with the miller's wife's sister's cousin, and the whole village is in uproar. And this since 7 moons back. Or 8. He strokes his chin. Yeah, okay. Is he a man of the people? Is that something that Bohemond would like others to see in him? I kind of think so. Would make sense for him to endure this. Obviously, he thinks that's an idiot. But this is all a matter of performance, right? And we are here to see the people of our realm, and the people are coming, so we just let the people talk, I would say. Gives us some stress, but we will just endure it. My courtier Giselle takes a turn bending my ear before the assembled court. Glorious liege, give me the honor of ensuring your children are cared for. I will not let you down. I suppose these jobs have to be done by somebody. Ah, right, okay, no, she would be a terrible wet nurse. She would be an average tutor. I guess we could need someone in that position here, and since she's offering, I guess we might as well accept it. Maybe we can pick someone else along the line if we find someone that's much better. That would be an okay job for a woman at court, especially since she's of noble standing, right? Not lowborn. This role as a court tutor, if we think of that as a medieval role, would have been largely to educate children how to behave at court. Like, not really very complicated things, I guess, but rather how to live at court, how to function at court, to learn the language of the court, and so on. All right, okay, that was very proactive of her, even if she is craven and content. I guess she's doing better. We can take a look at court position in general now. I guess we are looking for a physician right now, so that does not make sense. Maybe one of them here can be our Karen Master. Robert de Nantes, maybe, because he's quite good. And then we will do that to improve skills, and he will get good and excellent in just a matter of some months, I guess. Yeah, apart from that, we do have to look at our expense, of course. But that is currently very low because we are still recruiting Conroy. So this will go up to, I think, 4 or so. Seneschal, Antiquarian, Wet Nurse. Yeah, that was... No, she's terrible at it. No. Master of the Horse. Yeah, okay. Folk says, I can do that. Then we get more knights. 3. So yeah, let's take him. Also like a Master of Raids is from another mod. But they are only average at this, so no thank you. Alright, I guess, oh yeah, she could educate the children at court. We don't have any children at court currently, right? So maybe we will just teach the court in general. There we go. And the question is, like, what kind of alliances could I have? I could have several alliances, mostly, of course, with our own family. Tancred is in there, and I think that is definitely something we would do and should do. And let's have a look, because I would like to have, I think, an alliance with Roger, our brother. Would he go for an alliance as well? Ah, the rice option. Request shipments of Sicilian grain. In that case, I would lose 25 gold. I gain grain shipments. I gain some opinion. You might gain or lose 50 legitimacy. Okay. Okay, let's keep that in mind. That's something we can do along the way. Oh yeah, okay. I can only do that one alliance at a time. Alright, okay. That's it. We're in line to inherit titles. There we go. County of Kamada, Duchy of Apulia, County of Apulia. So we are in line to inherit the Duchy of Apulia from Roger, since we are his oldest brother. And by now, right, we are instated. He is now legitimate. That's what he fought for as a younger man. There we go. And I guess for now... oh yeah, right, there was something I wanted to do. And that is already look to create some siege weapons here, because what do we do in this position? We're surrounded by other people, most of them hostile, and I guess what Bohemond would do is just like find a better footing. And I think what he would like to do is go east, because there is that guy here. And he is the leader of the Hashashin. Right, the the story with the guy on the wall, and he just says jump, and he does and dies, and that's his like. There you see what power I have over my men, and he sits here, and I think I cannot have that. That would be a good target to expand before Radvan here does the same. I guess with our 5. That's already okay, right? I guess we can already start with that even. Let me just check. I can declare war for holy war for county. That's because, you see, I want to be fast, right? Because obviously some others could say, hey, we fight with him. And in that case, I need to be quick. Because as long as we capture that county here, the war will be over, no matter how many people participate. So is that something that we actually do? Why not? Maybe we wait a little because it's January. You don't want to do that in January, I think. There we go. I accept your betrothal proposition. You'll be joined with my stepdaughter Ingegerd in matrimony. May God grant you long life and many children. I also look forward to the promised grand wedding. Try not to disappoint me. Oh, says my brother. I guess, okay. Right, Tancred is going for the alliance. That's great. Now, the question is, do we rather go for Roger or for the other Roger? Now, that's seducing. Oh! One of these at a time, but I just... Was that too quick? No. Let's get back. Okay. Is the game acting out? Help. Right. She is going to be our court physician. I'm going to let her train a little, improve her skills, then she will be good in no time. What else? I can create an accolade, so maybe let's see if there's someone befitting. Contender, stalwart, fanatic. When it comes to accolades, you always want to have someone that's able to give you troops, like Outrider, for example. But that's for light cavalry. I don't think I want light cavalry. Gaillard. No. Arnulf. No. It's like they improved the UI as a whole, but this is a bit tedious because in the previous UI you could just go through them one at a time. Now you need to click on everyone, see if they fit, and if they don't, you go back, click on Create Accolade again. Anyways. Don't think I find anyone suitable with these guys. Nah. Okay. Maybe at some point in the future we will. Right. I can station a man-at-arms regiment. Thing is, does that account... like, do I have to wait longer for recruiting them when they are stationed somewhere here? That's a big question for me. We will see. Oh, what's happening at our court? Oh, there's Bishop Gilbert and Giselle. Gilbert, Giselle. My Bishop Gilbert is looking particularly miserable today. We live like animals at this court, or worse, like peasants. The rooms are crowded, whole families are piling in the same bed. Chamber pots discarded everywhere. We roll and wallow in our filth and smell. My personal physician Giselle pipes in. Bad miasma also contributes to epidemics. Aren't you clever? Set your lodging standards to middling. And they are 15% cheaper for 15 years. Uh-huh. Or we get that one here. Plague resistance -5. No, that's not that. Alright, okay, you got me. Jesus Christ, stop the whining already. Again, I guess that's part of his ambition. There's a little bit of arrogance in there as well. If someone complains about the living conditions, then he would rather, I think, you know, change something about it. I did not have an opportunity to attend. I guess that is because... Right, that is my younger half-sister, and she has now married. Good for her, I guess. We'll send some flowers. Or we don't. I guess when it's March, we can start marching for Qinnasrin. Maybe not. Right, it's a holy war. So again, other rulers of the same religion might be able to join. Yep. So let's just see that we are quick about this. Raise everyone. Yeah, it does take a bit, right? Gathering. Oh, wow. So, oh, whoa, what is this? Alright, okay. There is some improvements in relationships with other houses. Okay, due to him giving away land. Well, that's good for him, I guess. Right, I can put in some more commanders. That is another great mod. And I guess I will choose Basil. And full crochet. Or I could choose him, because then we get the faithful blade modifier. That would also make sense. Baron Franck. Right, 2, 1. And who's that? Again, one of my half-sisters marrying. Good for them. Alright, here we go. Yeah, this should not be too difficult. I guess just for good measure, we can also say do some warhorse grooming for an additional +3. In advantage, that we see in here. There we go. Wasn't that much advantage, right? That was a bit weird. 9 months, even with my great siege equipment. Jesus bloody Christ. Or Christ on the cross. As they would have said at the time. God's nails. Ah. Christ's wounds. What's happening? And I guess I can turn that off. I don't want to pay that much money. Oh, we have a prisoner. Halil Sabah. Alright, okay, that's a brother of ours marrying. I guess we get these notifications now all the time. I could call... Oh, I can ransom him for 50 gold. I will gladly do that. Because I need some money for the wedding that is about to come. Oh, there's a renewed jihad. The House of Islam is under grave threat from the onslaught of infidels in its very heartlands. Whom are they talking about? In response, His Magnificence Caliph al-Mustashir has declared that an era of renewed jihad is upon the world. The core regions of the Dar al-Islam must be retaken at all costs. All righteous Muslim faithful should prepare to join the ranks of the Mujahideen for the upcoming struggles. This could be the beginning of unprecedented Muslim aggression. Aggression, yeah, okay. I'll call it counter-aggression, maybe. Yeah. I mean, when you read about the First Crusade, it was quite the nasty business. Forget the name now, but there was this famous monk that wrote about it, that was disgusted by the way the Crusaders acted. Like he describes them almost like animals that slaughter and kill people. There's this famous expression, right, that the Crusaders stood up to their ankles in the blood of their victims when they conquered Jerusalem. Quite gruesome. I created another duchy. Okay. Aha! Large movements of entire tribes isn't anything new. Back in the Bronze Age, oh, well, I guess that's not something that we would consider here because we don't know what a Bronze Age is. The migration of the Sea Peoples led to a general collapse of civilization that only Egypt could withstand. In 434 AD, Attila the Hun plowed through the steppe and uprooted many tribes who fled into the Roman Empire, causing unrest. More recently, the mighty Göktürk Empire caused a general spread of Turkic tribes within Eurasia. The successes of the Desht-i Kipchak within the steppe itself, the Ghaznavids along the Indian border regions, and the Great Seljuk within Persia have only emboldened the other migratory tribes. Their eyes are looking towards the rich lands of Asia Minor and Persia, much to the dismay of their sedentary rulers. It is worrying, of course, now, because we are very much in the region. So, we'll see. Other wars can we declare, by the way? I guess we could also war against Egypt. Oh, reclaim relics war. We take ownership of all Christian artifacts that are held by the Caliph. Okay. Saint Catherine of Alexandria. Okay. That's that then. I can't declare the war though. Because my armies are raised. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Might be something to consider actually. Oh, who's he? Every day, ships sail to and from the Indian Ocean along the maritime Silk Road in seemingly endless numbers. Lately, my contacts in the local Middle Eastern community have told me that they've made conscious efforts to reach out to their brethren in other ports of call to keep an eye out for ships sailing under the Antiochian banner and to work with them wherever possible when traveling, such as sailing together for defense. The seas may be dangerous, but thanks to cooperation like this, peoples near and far can come together to achieve great things. Oh, isn't that good? Minor nautical cooperation. Travel speed +5, sea danger -5. Okay, I'll take it. What's he doing here? He's attacking... attacking while he's on... Huh? Oh, he's attacking him as well. That's a bit stupid. We're already here. We're almost done. Does that mean I have to do that war as well then? Ugh. I hope not. Just wanted to quickly do this and then be done with it. Count Torgels, okay. The Knights Templar have been established. There we go. The once proud fortifications of Qinnasrin now lie in ruins. Let this victory herald the dawn of a new era. I guess it's not that big of a thing. Not bigger than conquering Antiochia. Right, I guess we can just enforce the demands and that's that. There you go. Yes, we do have to fight the other one as well. Okay. Well, I guess it's fort level of 6. God's nails. Should we already do increase control or should we just stay because we would like to have the modifier? I guess we can wait until the whole thing is over because, yeah, there he is. Do we get to him in time if we do this? No, apparently not. We'll be there on the 15th, and we will be there on the 17th. It doesn't even matter. No, then we'll stay here. He's on horseback, so he's always faster than we are, I guess. Yeah, you do your thing. Just ride around. there had been a smuggling ring operating in Alexandretta for some time. However, officials there were unable to find any useful information on them that would lead to these criminals' arrests. Recently, however, my officials managed to capture one of the smugglers, who turned out to be an extreme coward. Even the casual mention of torture was enough to turn this man to a quivering mess, and he told the authorities everything. The members of the smuggling ring have all been caught, and justice doled out. All in all, it was a great success. Oh, look at us. Smuggling ring arrested. Good stuff. You're doing well. Very well. Oh yeah, I need to give that to someone. Maybe that is about the time where I can give that to one of our guys here. Like him. Robert de Nantes. Full Crusader. Would be befitting, right? Because they are... No, that's my commanders. But they are currently knights in the army as well. Or Aude d'Anjou. He does have good stewardship. So maybe him. Grant title. There we go. And then you can replace the mayor here, because I don't like him. That's looking better. There's always this option to say, okay, let's give this to a local noble or whatever. But why would he? He has these people that have been in his retinue for quite a while now, and he wants to give them something for their hard work and for their loyalty, of course. Right, he's just like riding around. Guess to stay busy. Right. I guess when we're back, we can have the big wedding. Nope. By the way, I did try another graphics mod. Something elegance something. Forget the name now. But the mod was just recently, I think today even, or yesterday, removed from Steam. I don't know why. If anyone knows why, then you can tell me. I quite liked that one. That added some... yeah, some different shaders, I think. Looked a bit... looked better than, yeah, with the setup there. And also added some GUI stuff, so yeah, was quite good. Not too long ago, I discovered a good mouthwash recipe. It uses wine as its main ingredient and mixes it with various herbs, including cinnamon and mint. The taste is rather pleasant, and rinsing with it every day is said to help in keeping one's teeth healthy. Look at Bohemond. He wants to look the part, right? He definitely wants to have shiny teeth, even at his age. I think whenever they find skeletons from noblemen from the Middle Ages, they usually had good teeth. Probably because of their diet. And obviously they did not eat that much sugar stuff like we do. So there we go. Nearly done. Yeah, you can do with your horse whatever you're doing there. Woo! That won't help you. We are just about done. 3, 2, 1, bang. There we go. The walls of Hammer have fallen. And that's about it then, right? We can enforce the demands. Can we actually... No, we cannot demand a hostage. But there we go. We do get some more coin from him now. So that's actually... Alright, okay, the button is always there now. That's a bit annoying. I'll do this then. Right. So, what do we do? already start with the grand wedding, and I guess that is what we would do, right? So we've added another county and been successful in 2 wars already. That's befitting of our station, of course. Negotiate some more alliances, by the way. Is there a bigger one that we can take? Duke Robrecht of Flanders. Well, Flanders is very far away, so that's not very good. No, I guess we're fine. But we can now go on to host the wedding. We will do that, or should we do that over there? That's the question, because if we do that here, then there's the chance of more people attending from Europe. Whereas if we do that there, then we have more chances of attracting the other Crusaders. It's an interesting question. I think I would actually go for this here and say we do that in... is this where the church is? Matera? I guess so, right? Let's see other guests. The head of faith is coming! Yes! Oh, that's great. That is grand. Extended family. We don't have lovers, rivals, or anything. We don't have any other players, of course. But the Pope is coming that way. Yeah, that's great. That is marvelous. 295 gold. I think that's a good setup for us. I don't want to do anything else here. Do some diplomacy, maybe? With the Pope? Oh, having an official mandate by the Pope. That would be amazing. Let's go for that. Right, as I said, like the Normans have this very mixed history with the Pope. But after the first back and forth, I think they were fine. So, I know. So when we get over there, is there something we should do or just take a different route? Maybe we should go through Rome even? Would make sense, right? We'll go over there. Monte Cassino. Visit the Battle of Civitate, right? Oh, I think I did say the Battle of Cerami before. That was another one. The Battle of Civitate was the one against the Pope. Yep. Right. Could also go by Benevent. I guess we do need some more travel options here. Maybe is it safe to go through the ocean? Apparently it is. Does that help? Yes, of course it helps. A mountaineer as well. That'd be good. Okay. Yeah, I guess that does make sense for me. To go that way. Maybe in roleplay terms you could say we're escorting the Pope to meet here at Matera. Or maybe even in roleplay terms say that this would all take place in Rome itself. I don't know. That's fine. We can actually have the money to do this. So let's start. So we are leaving. I hope there won't be any... Please don't do anything in the meantime. Guys. Aleppo. Come on. Oh, there's another ship. William William of Acre. Is he doing the same thing? Is he going for... No, not sure where he's going. Anyway, there we are. Hey, let's follow them. Ah, there we go. Passing Greece. Passing Corfu. Right? Is that Corfu? I hope so. Ithaca is also somewhere around there. Who are they? Alright, okay, yeah, we always get these messages now when another D'Hauteville baby is born. And there's many of them because we have a large family. 49 living members. Okay. Right, about to arrive in Rome. There we go. At a distance, the city of Roma is a forest of towers and a maze of stone buildings. As we approach, the scenery shifts. Ruins of monuments, walls, and ancient churches coexist with farms and grazing animals. Pilgrims seem to be everywhere, bartering, conversing, and queuing to shrines and tombs of the city's saints. Mansions of forgotten aristocrats now serve as hostels for the faithful. Yeah, Rome would have been a very interesting site at that time, because the inhabited parts of Rome were more to the northern side, where in antiquity that was not the main part of Rome, that was to the south, and that is where you would have this large field of ruins, right? Obviously most prominently the ruins of the Colosseum and so on. So yeah, okay, what do we do in Rome? I will find something to bring home. I spend time contemplating the nature of Christ, or I will not waste any time in this place. Yeah, let's get something. Oh, we have the fragment of the true cross. That's good. That gives us some piety and so on. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Could have been better, of course. But there we are. Right. By the way, that's the updated model of Rome for medieval arts. Looks different than in the base game. More accurate again. And that's where you would see, right? That is the inhabited part. And there's the old Rome. As you traverse the sun-drenched plains of Apulia, you encounter a group of artisans from Grottaglie, renowned for their ceramics. They are transporting a cart filled with an array of beautifully crafted pottery, from large amphorae to delicate plates, all adorned with intricate designs and vibrant colors. The artisans, led by Umberto, offer to trade, presenting an opportunity to acquire some of these fine ceramics. However, you are aware that Grottaglie's artisans are just as famous for their cunning as for their craftsmanship. One wrong move could see you swindled out of your hard-earned wealth. What do I need to pay for this? It's all quite a lot, right? And we're already in the minus territory. I would rather not... yeah. Beautiful wares, but I'd rather not risk being swindled. There you go. And we have a perk. I guess we could go down that route, right? Chivalric dominance. That sounds like a Bohemond thing. Chivalric dominance. Oh, the barren strawberry plant. Aren't those strawberry plants, I ask, as we pass by some heavy foliage near the road with many plants and bushes. I point at what looks like a strawberry plant, but there are no berries on it. I wonder out loud. Perhaps someone passed by and picked off some strawberries earlier? Robert walks over and runs his hand through the plant's leaves, examining its physical appearance before shaking his head. These are barren strawberries, he corrects me. They look similar, but don't produce any fruit. The leaves are also a little different, if you look closely. Aren't you a clever clogs here, Robert? Okay, well, maybe then I'll try to be knowledgeable and say, okay, yeah, well, continue. Tell me more about strawberries. I desperately need to know that, apparently. Right, so we arrive at the venue. Oh, and there's a horse dead. With great misfortune, we were riding on the road in Matera when Quentin's horse collapsed beneath his legs. My knight Canton. I think that is probably one of the people that ride with us, right? No, he can ride the spare donkey, right? That's look at her, isn't she beautiful? 19 by now. We did waste some time. But 19 is still good. That's alright. Everyone seems to be happy, right? They're like, yeah, Bohemond. He's a catch. Still doing the diplomacy thing. The Pope is already here. Good stuff. Very, very, very good. That's exactly what we want. The recognition. The legitimacy that comes with this. And there we go. It always feels amazing when you have been planning for something for so long and spent so much money on it, and then it's finally there. Everything is ready, the decorations are in place, the guests are mingling, and servants scurry around with loaded dishes. I'm pacing around in excitement and nervousness when my future spouse Ingegerd appears, radiant in her finest attire. We are ready to begin. The guests are gathered, the ceremony is about to start, and everything seems in order when something out of the ordinary happens right in front of my eyes. Storm clouds gather, apparently from nowhere, and converge just on top of the venue. A beautiful sunny sky quickly changes to dark and menacing, casting an ominous shadow on the ceremony about to start. Giselle, who has seen the whole scene going down like me, catches my eye and comments. That was really bad, wasn't it? It means nothing! And I gain critical stress. Yeah, I guess people at that point in time believed in omens. And this is not too good looking. You're like, okay, let's have a fine marriage, and then the clouds are getting darker. So yeah. What sign is this? What kind of sign are we seeing here? I've been noticing the growing crowd of commoners surrounding the event for a while. What I didn't expect was to see a small troop of them assaulting the kitchens and trying to guzzle down as much spiced wine and baked truffles as they can. How did they get in? Here again is, do we actually allow them to just participate? Not out of goodwill or because he is a man of the people, but rather he would like to be seen as one. And I think he would want the peasants to participate because that's his opportunity to be seen. And he is, as we know, not here all the time. He's in Antioch for most of the time. And I guess if we take a look at the setup here with its cultures, then we do see that there is local tension. The Sicilian people that live here are not Normans, and we are foreign rulers to them. So I guess, yeah, we let them share in the merriment. Oh, what's that? Why must I always do everything myself? How can I be expected to manage the affairs of Antioch when one half of my court is incapable of following my orders and the other doesn't even understand them? Do we have him become irritable? Don't think he would take to drink. But now anyway. Would he just have to endure? No, I think he would be someone to lash out. That's fine. Yeah. As if organizing a wedding worthy of my family's stature weren't stressful enough, I also have to deal with Ingegerd's relatives. Her mother, Duchess Adele, arrived bright and early today and has been following me around ever since, complaining about this or that non-stop. As I feel a splitting headache growing behind my eyes, she continues blabbering undeterred. These flowers will make Ingegerd sneeze, and this wool is too rough. What about the color scheme? I know that Ingegerd won't like it. Okay. Well, since we just established that he's not in the best of moods, I guess he would just tell her to shut up. In one word or another. No, he's not going to find common ground here. He's just telling her to shut it. That felt good. Already putting the mother-in-law in her place. The preparations and rituals of a wedding ceremony are many. In a lull in between them, I hear some snickering and scoffing coming from a group of Ingegerd's relatives. Her again! And they see that they got my attention. Duchess Adele starts addressing me directly. It's truly a shame we couldn't find anyone better for poor Ingegerd, but such is life. God. There's something missing here. Probably catching the Pope's attention, who is now watching me intently. Okay. No. Yes. I guess. No, is that a challenge? You want to come for me? I'm Big Bad Bohemond. My head throbs with the noise of clattering furniture and chattering guests. The strain must show, because my sister Matilda takes my arm and steers me into the next room. The sound of preparation dies away. We speak of small things. Times past, people we've known, not a word about the wedding. Then we run out of words and fall silent. Well, isn't that nice? See, that's how you are supportive. Right? Matilda, good on you. Can you come to my court? She would. She's not even anywhere else, so yeah. I would gladly have her then. She's good. Yeah, maybe let's share the moment here. We appreciate her. And there, she's joining our court. I'm glad I told my servants early to keep an eye out for Pope Pascali's arrival, because in the midst of the wedding preparations I would have missed it otherwise. Instead, I'm proudly standing in the middle of the courtyard wearing my fanciest clothes and surrounded by a guard of honor when Pascalis makes his entrance. I'm extremely pleased to welcome you, Pope Pascalis. I'm certain you will find my hospitality most agreeable and be impressed by all the wonders my realm has to offer. We can show him the gardens. We can show him the preparations. Or we'll just say, I hope you enjoy the ceremony. No, let's show him the venue. Did not work, obviously. Of course. Geoffroy became the new dynasty head. Why is he a chieftain now? Clan realm. Something did not really... Like, why is he a clan realm? I think something did not work correctly here. Let me mend that quickly. Might be a thing with the bookmarks mod. Change government feudal. There we go. There we go. And there we are. See? All is good. Anyways, okay, so that did not work. Oh, the dynasty auto gained 150 renown because a Seljuk guy who's here offered the respects of the Oghuz. Okay. Oh, wow. That's a big thing. Makes sense, right? We are enemies, of course, but apparently enemies who respect each other. And that makes total sense with steppe riders like the Seljuks. Right, warrior culture, that's all about appreciating the strength in others as well, even if you're enemies. Weddings are just politics. I steel myself as I wait for my future wife to join me. Just politics, I repeat to myself. How bad can it be? But nothing has prepared me for the moment I finally see Ingegerd for the first time. No portrait or description could do justice to the gentle look on her face. No poet has ever sung a beauty such as hers. Time hangs still when our eyes meet, and everyone else seems to disappear. Then she smiles at me, and I know everything will be all right. Isn't that sweet? Oh, soulmates even. That's love at first sight here, right? Between a 47-year-old man and a 19-year-old girl. Well, I guess those were the times. And Bohemond would have been a catch, right? That's definitely... that's his quality. Yeah, and she's quite sweet looking. Could it be you I've been waiting for? Oh. That means children are on the way. Good stuff. The ceremony went on a blur. I can barely remember all the steps, rituals, and blessings I went through. And now it's time for our vows, the formal consent, the actual seal on the marriage. Do I want to spend the rest of my life with Ingegerd? Oh, I do. Definitely. As the ceremony concludes and we all move to the banquet venue, I secretly smile to myself, picturing the joys to come from my married life with Ingegerd. Not everyone can be so lucky to marry such a likable person. I wish everyone to share my own I wish everyone to share in on my own happiness. And let's all tuck in. There she is. Now she's wearing some beautiful clothes that we got her, I guess. What's that? Waiting for the wedding night. There we go. Arbitrary, callous, shy, methodical at least. I don't think that makes for a very likable person, but for Bohemond, she definitely is. Featuring exotic treats, elaborate culinary artworks, and rich colors with richer scents, the banquet's chefs have gone all out for the wedding. Near my seat, both Duke Roger and Duke Henrik share their opinions about the spread. A good feast, I think, chortles Roger. Plenty of thought into making an experience without losing sight of the important things. It's good, Henrik spits. But it's not quite enough for me. I like a more hectic feast than this. A hectic feast? What is that supposed to mean? I guess we just focus on our uncle, right? Yeah, my uncle. I picked the main dishes personally, uncle. I did that. Because I micromanage things. I'm a control freak. Every feast, there's always one. Every single feast, one long-winded, ill-born, pissant cornering people who just will not be silent. This time, it's Robert. Yeah. Strawberry Robert again. He's utterly obsessed with visiting supreme wrath on some poor nameless rival for some perceived slight. Quite why I am required for this maddened plotting, I have no idea. I am going to scream. Right. Nah. No. Shut up. Please. Yeah. That's Bohemond now. After observing Pope Paschalis from afar, I quickly come to the conclusion that I cannot just approach him and start talking about the weather, or the latest medical treaties, or war, and pray that that becomes an alliance. I soon spot my uncle Duke Roger across the room, known to be Paschalis' friend, happily chugging down goblets of wine. Tell me, where do Paschalis' interests lie? I ask, attentive. Just talk about books and how much you hate going outside. Yeah, of course. That is us. Books and not going outside. Fantastic. That I will use the insight. With my newly acquired knowledge, I artfully approach Pope Paschalis, who is enjoying the feast and some others' company at a different table, where a rich cloth is laid. May we have a small word, King Bishop? What is that? Yeah. Anyways, I ask, I wouldn't want to interrupt your parliament. Pope Paschalis raises his eyebrows, a hint of curiosity in his eyes. Well, of course. What matters bring you to me, noble Bohemond? I want to read, no. Huh? Visas of siege, there's no option here. Well, I guess he has lover's pox, so that will tell us something about his preferences. But I thought that this is where we choose, like, I want to read books and never go outside. And I don't get the option. No rumors? No. Oh, well, I guess he's deceitful. Drink and eat with me. And I guess he's greedy. But he's also humble. Did you hear about the Barons? No. Did you hear about a treaty? That's not going to work. What kind of question is that anyway? Do you want to sneak out and find some fine guests? Huh? Oh, is that the one where we offer him, like, the women? Anyways. Okay, it's either the plot or it's the go outside. I guess it's the... I guess we take the plot, right? Being deceitful, dishonorable. Yeah. Yes, he considers us a kindred soul. Haha. The banquet hall is dressed in a riot of colors, scents, and sights. Only the very rarest fabrics and flowers are absent from the garb. Near my seat, both Duke Roger and Atabek Radvan share their opinions on the decorations. By St. Matthew, it's all just perfect, enthuses Roger. He really likes us, doesn't he? Just the right amount of to be tasteful without going over. Ceremonies are important, and this is still part of the ceremony. Radvan snorts. It should have been bigger, better, prettier. All of it. I guess he just says that because he wants to be snooty about it. He just says that because he wants to be a dick. No, I'll go with Roger. I picked the decorations myself as well. The dishes, the decorations, right? I did everything myself here. And I like my uncle so much, we are now friends. A magnificent throng of musicians, tumblers, and actors are providing the evening's entertainment. Thrilling guests across the hall. Near my seat, both Duke Roger and Atabek Radvan share their opinions on the display. A lot of thought goes into the right balance of background noise, mused Roger. It's good to see some without too much bustle. I really like that man. To my mind, this is supposed to be a celebration for the ceremony, Radvan opines. So it should have matched its importance and gone all out. Just focus on him, right? Just go back to Uncle. We get so much martial XP from him. Oh, good stuff. I'll take it. There you go. We never back down. Back to the wedding. Oh, we have fresh quail, see? It is all good. The feast has started winding down with everyone sated and tired, but the day is still not over for Ingegerd and me. A procession of guests lead us to our bedchamber for the legitimacy of a wedding depends on it being consummated. It is time. The fire in the grate has started to wither, and I stare at its flames in silence. The light, its warmth. Princess Ingegerd is searching for something in her wooden chest, and I take my eyes off the flames to look at her. Bohemond, she says, offering me a small package wrapped in silk. I've saved this since I heard of our betrothal, and I now offer it to you as a token of my love. Oh, isn't that sweet? I think I can't give her anything, right? Oh, you are my greatest gift. Oh, definitely. That's what you tell a woman when you don't have anything to give to her. That, or you say, well, in turn, I gift you sex with me, right? That's my present to you. By the way, that never works, guys. Don't do that. Don't do that. As the banquet reached its climax, Ingegerd's growing anxiety of the imminent bedding ceremony was clear. My new wife turns to me as the procession sets off to our chambers, pleading, "Please, can't we do this? Can't we do without this?" Over the hollering and drumming. But I guess for her he would make an exception because he really loves her. I mean, that's the one way. It's like, come on, we just need to dry hump a little, and then they go. And it would have been like that, right? That's when we look at this nowadays, it's all a bit dramatized and so on. But that was mostly like a little ritual and not like actually having to perform in front of others. So there you go. Let's have the room to ourselves. I guess they all want to watch. Everyone wants to see Bohemond. Although that's my sister's. Not sure what they want to do around here. No, again, he will... What's that? Barred bedding. That's fine. I do get a loss here, but no. That's him saying, no, if you ask for this, my love, I will give that to you. Oh, by the way, she will soon depart because she has nothing to do at the court. No, that's not good. Let's give her something then. Chronicler maybe. I'm poor at that as well. Oh, she is actually... Well, she is the daughter of Qinnasrin, right? So, there we go. I'll just put her in this position. There we go. No, she's not... That would not be good for us. Okay. Let us do that. There you go. Oh, by the way, we do have prisoners still. Oh, they are all in the dungeon. Let's move them to house arrest. There you go. We can decide on their fate later. But for now, they are valuable assets. Can be ransomed. So there we go. Back to here. Ingegerd and I are led to the chambers by the raucous wedding party, the echoing shouts and laughter heralding the bedding ceremony. Pascalis blesses our marital bed before tucking us in, pouring cups of strong spiced wine and directing us to drink them. We gaze at each other happily as the party starts to depart, alone at last. The door slams behind the last of the witnesses, the raucous party continuing down the hall, though the families are no doubt listening. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, no, of course we lay with her. Yeah. That's what we're here for, right? So sadly we were not able to get this, oh. Her pregnancy was lost. Oh, that's not a good sign. That is not a good sign at all. That is, that could mean something bad. When finally the last guest leaves, I look around at the deserted venue, the food leftovers, the spilled tea on the floor, the echoes of people's laughter still lingering in the air, and feel satisfied. What an amazing day. I did a very fine job organizing it. Thank you all for coming. Okay. There you go. So she was pregnant and lost the baby. Well, that could be still fine, but that might just be that is going to happen regularly. Well, I guess we can try again on the ship. In some boat tumbling. Which is obviously weird because, right, she was already pregnant when we went there. Well, that's because, of course, the whole... the wedding lasted longer, so it was already a few months in, and they were already married, so they already had their first get-together. It's a bit weird. I'm stirred from my relaxing trip across the great blue sea by a sudden shriek. I sprint into the stores below deck and am horrified to find a pigeon beside the shredded remains of our supplies, its feathers stretched thin against its foul, bloated belly. In my rage, I could have killed the repugnant winged menace right there. Sorry. But I'm stopped by Captain Selev of the Turkmen Band of Isoria. He has a long name. Hark! Stay your hand, you! Don't you know it's bad luck to kill a bird at sea? No. Nothing will stop me from killing this blasted bird. Oh, what's that? Sharp gusts of lingering squalls have kept the ship tipping and rolling for hours, and as I stand on the deck, clutching firmly onto the mast, I see the chest carrying my fragment of the true cross has come loose. Oh no! I am too far to save it myself, but Robert is within reach. However, he would be at risk of falling overboard. Well. Okay. It's just Robert, right? I mean... And that's my cross. Save it for me. Oh, he did not do it. Why? Well, that's disappointing. I wanted that cross. That nail from the cross. Right, that's not me being an asshole. That's him being callous, by the way. Right? That's how that works. Oh, there's a war over here, by the way. He is fighting against is attacking Atabek Ghazi Taloglu in the... he is fighting against the Danish Mendids. And he's defending against Prince Constantine in the holy war for the Beylik of Cappadocia. Oh, that is interesting. Look at that. And he is winning this. That will be good for us. Because, well, they are more pleasant than them, I think, in total. They are also Christians, at least. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, another pregnancy was lost. That's not a good sign. Can only hope maybe third time's a charm. Right, and finally we're back at Antioch with our beautiful, beautiful wife. There we are. Also have some perks available. Household Guard. Yes. Well, at least it means, like, he is fertile, at least. Well, we definitely can say that he is, because she gets pregnant. Isn't able to carry, though. That's a concern. So we don't need a wet nurse right now. We need a new Karen Master, because the last one was an idiot. Adolf! Come over here! Yes, sir. Please don't let me do this. You are my new Karen Master, and I hope you are better than the other one. Jesus. Oh, there we go. Someone died of breaking his fragile bones. There we go. Right? That's where we see that the new patch 119 is in place. People are dying because of the new elderly diseases and illnesses and sicknesses and whatever they have. Right. We're back. We only have a little money, so I'm not sure what we can do with that one. I guess what I could do is... there you go. Contact the pirates. There we go. Before our marriage, the people of Antioch likely knew my new wife only as daughter to the King of Denmark, if at all. Well, they probably did not know her. Other than various rumors, they didn't know what to make of her. Those who journeyed to the castle and actually saw her at court whispered about the choice of her outfit that day, as well as how it seemed like she wasn't ready to rule at my side. Ingegerd, for her part, found it all rather overwhelming. When not expressly called to attend court or a dinner, she hid in her bedchambers. Even when she did come out, she mostly hung back and spoke to no one. All in all, it could have been worse. Let us hope that in the future things improve. I guess that might be behind the whole pregnancy. Maybe she wasn't even pregnant, right? Maybe that was just she thought she was, and so on. She's probably under a lot of pressure here. And given that she's shy, also a bit arbitrary, but she's probably used to being on her own. Or grew up isolated with her Danish maidens when she was at court in Trani in Apulia. And she's not used to this at all. And now she's thrown into this being the wife of this larger than life man, whom she kind of clings to, I think. But at the same time, everything else is too much for her. So there we go. That might as well be behind these failed pregnancies. What else could I do? Do I want that? Contact the Mediterranean pirates. I guess if there's something to be had from this, like, then yes. Oh yeah, there's my younger half-brother, Guy de Hauteville. Lazy bastard. No, he's not a bastard. He's just lazy. And he and his wife... Oh, right, he married the sister of Ingegerd. Apparently that was not the best option out there. Oh! Now he is allied to what? To my brother. How did that happen? How did that happen? Can we be still... Yes? Why is he only at 283? That's pitiful. But I guess it would make sense to be allied to him. That's my brother. So, there you go. Because I was just thinking about, like, what if we attacked him? I can't do that. I have... that was a game rule that I set that you can only do a holy war every 3 years because I don't want to spam it. So there we go. That's an ally. Can we also be allies with Uncle? Or do we still get this option? All right, now I can do it. And yes, that should be good. I think that's very safe for us now. Having allies here with our nephew and our uncle and our brother. The whole family comes together. I could also have an alliance with Count Torgil. Oh, right, that's in Denmark. Nah, I don't need that. There we go. Oh! No! No! Tancred was slain in battle? Jesus Christ, is he fighting? He's fighting King Philippe of France in the de jure war of the County of Werg. And that is where my beloved nephew died. Oh, that's horrendous. Can we, in turn... Can't even offer her an alliance. And she doesn't want to be our guardian, our ward. Oh, that's tragic. Absolutely tragic. That was our nephew and a person, like I said, like he was, both Bohemond and Tancred went on the crusade together. And by all accounts, they liked each other. Again, that was his only real, like, full nephew. Because that's the son of his sister, Emma. And yeah, that's just a very sad occasion. I think what he even would consider is to host a funeral for him. Maybe in Antiochia, maybe one of his, here in Jabala. Yeah, we can do that. A bit expensive. 64 at least we would have to pay. Yeah, but that's something to consider, I think. And on this sad note, I will leave it for today. So, yeah, for everyone that's new, each of these episodes will be about 2 hours. We will follow everything that happens in game, as you do see. So it's a slow play, it's a long play, but it's I hope it's fun. I hope it's fun to watch, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye bye.